I am Jessica Koch, and this is Profound Professional Interview Series. I have actually been doing this interview series since 2018, and I started it to feature really high-level industry professionals and CEOs and authors all across the globe. And today I have the pleasure of featuring Keziah. I got it right the first time. This is not getting edited out, so we are live. Do it again for us. It's a beautiful name.
Keziah.
Keziah Robinson, principal of Keziah Partners. Thank you for being loving and patient as I brutalize your name, as gorgeous as it is. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from?
Absolutely. Well, I am from Boston originally, and I moved back there. I lived in California and some other places over the years, but I moved back here a few years back, and it's an awful lot of fun to be home. So it's nice to be close to family, even if I can't see them right now. And a little bit about me. So I am a business coach, strategist, and consultant. I work with business owners, especially smaller business owners, on issues of kind of strategic transformation, growing pains. Who do you want to be when you grow up? And often with people who are looking at what's next. So maybe looking at transitioning out of their business and how do they get the business ready for whatever that next stage of life is, and what are they going to do as they leave. So super exciting.
Transition is a great topic. So Keziah Partners, how did it kind of come to be? What was your journey a little bit before you landed to be the principal of this? I mean, I'm pretty sure you didn't get born from Boston and shift over into a new location and bammo, you were the head of a company.
Absolutely not. And it's funny because I was in the investment business for a long time, a decade or plus. And
that's an amazing asset to your customers, because having some knowledge of those families are often deep family seated, and the investment world is its own kind of niche little nest.
Yeah, and a lot of times I worked with small cap companies, much smaller companies. And so I saw just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies, and really got to see lots and lots of different business models. And one of the things that's interesting is everyone thinks their business is so special. And I'm like, you're a unique snowflake made of water. So there's an awful lot of commonality between businesses. And so I've been between my investment years, between the consulting years, and between coaching, I've interacted with probably 1,000 companies. I start to get a real good sense of what are the patterns and what can I bring forward, and how can I help someone see that, you're not alone. You're also maybe not, this issue is not something that is as special. Lots of people have, especially talent, personnel issues with customers, clients, having to go through, cash flow problems. These are all fairly normal, but there are ways to work through them, and you don't have to sit there and think, wow, I'm the only person who's ever had this experience as a business owner. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So I was in the investment business, and I really enjoyed certain parts of it, and I really hated other parts of it. And eventually, like, as we all know, the parts that you hate catch up with you. So the parts that I hated were working by myself. I was at the end of my career, I covered the utility industry, and I always say any industry is interesting for about a year, as much as any person is interesting for at least 45 minutes. Right?
Let's hope.
Something there, and so I was sitting in my office in Los Angeles, beautiful place. I worked with very nice people. They paid me very well, and I was sitting in this office by myself, and working on these 30-page research reports on utilities. And I was looking at covering the utility industry for the next 10 to 15 years. And I was miserable. I mean, I got so depressed. I would cry in my car. I had to stop listening to NPR because there was always something sad going on. And I would and then I'd have to kind of scrape myself together, put on my happy face, go up there, and then surf the web. Because when you get depressed, the thought of doing the work that's so depressing to you is it wasn't going to happen. So eventually they noticed, and I, at that time, I realized I didn't know how to go out and say, I'm not happy. This isn't working. Is there something else you'd like me to do? So I ended up leaving, turned around a business for a friend, and then started doing a bunch of consulting and more work with businesses. But I saw myself very much as a brain for hire. And that, it's wonderful, you're smart, you go out, you solve problems, it's interesting. But I did a bank regulatory project. It was super interesting for about 6 months. Then they kept coming back going, you want to do more bank regulatory work? And of course not. It was only interesting for that period of time. And I had to start looking at what were the projects and the work that really made sense and really that succeeded in the long run. And those were ones where I was working with a business owner or a senior executive. We were really like co-piloting and trying to put together things and projects, whether it's a training program for new employees that suited their personality, that not only did it suit their interests and that they had skin in the game with the business, but really putting together things that fit who they were as a leader. And that's how I evolved into coaching.
And from a sales perspective, because that's my thing and what I'm always asking about, as a sales and marketing consultant, I always want to know, okay, so once you identified that ideal customer, what was the top 3 maybe ways that you were able to direct market to that type of customer or attract that customer? I know one of the number 3 is most likely referrals from other companies that you did success with. But what about, trade shows or associations or other forms of marketing that you went after that really specific customer that really works well for you?
Yeah. So I am do a lot of relationship marketing. So not just with referrals, I go through trade organizations. I'm out there with, let's say, mergers and acquisitions professionals, out there with lawyers, with accountants, with other people, financial advisors, really looking at who touches a business over a long period of time. Because coaching is quite personal. And even, I said the business may be the primary client, but as the business owner, there's a lot of stuff that's going to come up, and there has to be trust there. So I really focus mostly on going through and really building relationships with the people who have relationships.
So strong referral partners is your key. So having a really strong relationship with them, really getting to know their business, vetting them, making sure that they're really working with kind of your target customer and making sure they understand in great detail what you provide so that they can speak intelligently and make those introductions strong. And they're kind of pre-sold when they walk in the door to you.
Yeah, and some of those people, those referral partners have come in as clients sort of unexpectedly. I often, one thing I do is I say, let me give you a coaching session. Anyone who is where I've built that relationship, I'm not going to sell you. That's not the point. It's going to be a discreet session. Bring me a small problem, say like a pebble in your shoe, something that's been bugging, knocking around, right? Occasionally I get a rock. That's allowable there, right? But we come in, I like to do it in person. So now, obviously I'm doing them over Zoom, but we come in, we just start there and unravel it. And there's always some larger kind of thing that is the source of this particular issue.
Normally right in there too.
And then we take that back out. I usually book 60 to 90 minutes. So we take it, we expand it, and then we go back out to, okay, what's some practical things you might do tomorrow? What's a conversation? Often, someone's trying to do a reorg and they haven't talked to the person who's most important in that reorg, the person whose job is going to change the most, but also who they respect the most and want to keep inside the company. Okay, well, we'll talk through that. And a lot of times that is the thing that gets, sometimes again, they come to me as a client, but often that's what helps them go forward because it's a lot easier for them to say, oh, okay, I understand now that whatever the issues are, we're going to really get to the root of them. And then we're going to take it back into strategic action and take it forward into actual business planning. So.
Well, that's fantastic for them to be able to get that little bit of experience of it so that they really are able to speak to the process and the quality of work that you provide. So that's a brilliant way to strengthen your relationship and your referral partners. So That's awesome. Is there anything else amazing or special going on with Keziah Partners that you wanted to feature or talk about, or specials or products or anything that's coming up that people should watch for before I get into asking you some of the other questions I have up my sleeve?
Absolutely. I am putting together some workshop content on ideal clients and how to identify and attract your ideal clients. So that's for people who are in service businesses, as well as people who may be in sales roles inside of a larger company. So typically they're going to be in a sort of a leadership position or have a lot of control over the sales process. So you're not maybe inside sales where everything's fed to you and there's this large process for that. So that will be coming out in the next month or two. I was going to do them in person, so I've had to adapt that and put it online.
You and the rest of the world, sister.
I decided to keep them pretty small. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, online we can do bigger ones, but I'm like, no, I think it's going to be more important to have the group be able to coach each other and to work through it.
And what do you consider small?
Fewer than 20. So
yeah, I'm about to do a launch of my own, probably sometime end of June, of a 6-week kind of the emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, business intelligence, sales intelligence, artificial intelligence, which ties all into all that. So I'll be doing a launch myself, and I'm keeping the group size the same, 20 or less. So that's a fantastic, I think it's a nice space for it to, like you said, be a genuine mastermind, but really give everyone an opportunity to be the center of attention and have the group give their expertise and their focus and their knowledge and their personal experience to benefit one another. So fantastic. Well, really good. So one of the main reasons Profound Professionals was born was not just to feature these amazing industry leaders and professionals globally, but to talk about the causes that touch their heart, that the ways that they are helping the community and the world at large be just a bit of a better place for all of us. And so tell us about something that makes your heart sing.
Well, it's fortuitous timing because today is April 29th, if you're watching this live, is Denim Day 2020. And a cause that's really important to me, I was involved with an organization. They have national reach, but they're headquartered in LA, called Peace Over Violence. I was on the board for many, many years. And Peace Over Violence does domestic and sexual violence intervention and prevention. And Denim Day is their national awareness day. They coordinate with other organizations all over the country, and it's the National Sexual Violence Awareness Day. And it's a cause that's so important to me, as for many of us, because I am a survivor, and that's something that, and I always say, and I know there's a reason they call it the Me Too movement. There are a lot of us, and I do know that somebody once said to me, "I'm so sorry," and I said, "Well, I am who I am, and this is part of what made me. So I wouldn't wish it on anyone else, but I also am not sorry. Okay, that's not how I position it. It's part of who I am." And one of the things that's been just wonderful about Peace Over Violence is they really do take that. They understand the multi-layered elements of people who are going through, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's intimate partner violence. And then they also are really, really wonderful about, there's going to be a virtual rally for survivors. It's about sharing, about bringing it into the light. And it's just a great cause. And so if you are watching live, there's a website for Denim Day. Throw on your jean jacket. You may already be wearing your jeans, and I
know I'm so sorry I forgot, because unfortunately I'm a Me Too piece of that, and for me it's not, I don't see myself as a victim. I don't see myself as even a survivor. I see myself as a thriver, that this is a piece of the story that was just outside of my own choice. I took all the choices and the steps to find fantastic and beautiful healing and resilience and forgiveness in my journey, and I'm able to thrive beyond that and not allow that to define me in any of the negative ways. So I think it's beautiful that you're sharing this, and I love that it's a cause that is dear to you as well, because too many people will go silent their entire life and never get the resources or healing they need.
Yeah. And I know for myself, I just, for 10 years, I told myself I just had a bad night. And it took a lot to kind of, and I actually joined the board of Peace Over Violence before I was willing to kind of step back and say, oh, and I love that. I'm not a survivor. I'm a thriver. And it was, and so it's really, it can be quite hard for us to, and one thing that's great about Peace Over Violence is they work with men, they work with women. They really, they're really not, they don't have a narrow definition of who they can serve. And they really use a lot of the stuff, the trauma-informed care, so things to talk about, really giving people the right support to move through it and to thrive coming out. So it's a wonderful organization, and this is a great day. If you have time, like I said, throw on some jeans or get on the web and just post something on Facebook. We appreciate it all.
I will totally be making sure that I normally, give my whole self and my team a little bit of processing time as we produce these episodes, but I'm going to make an extra push to make sure that this gets out live on Facebook and all the places, and the LinkedIn article goes up today so that we can be celebrating this amazing cause, and all the thrivers and people who are coming through and going through their process of healing. Unfortunately, it's a part of not just our society, but the world's society. As human beings, we are of a sexual nature, and not everyone makes the right choices when that's involved. So we will keep them all in our thoughts and prayers today, and we'll post some things to celebrate it. Now, that being said, the next thing I love to get into is, as we wrap up and say goodbye to everyone, first of all, thank you for watching Profound Professionals. If you are a profound professional, or you know someone that you would love to nominate to be interviewed and featured on the show, please reach out to me. All of Keziah's, Keziah. Oh, well, there you go. I am human, just verified that for sure. Everyone else has got that. The beautiful Miss Robinson. All of her contact information will be in the description and in the LinkedIn article, so that you can reach out to her amazing business, work with her, with your business through her process and her workshops. Please like, share, and comment. But before we say goodbye, I just want to ask if you could just share with us one last nugget, something that has helped you, either a quote, a book, some sort of process, something that's been transformational for you, or just helps you get through every day with the best version of yourself in front of you,
Yeah. There are two things that come to mind, but I'll go with one that I think is more apropos for this time, the time we're in right now, and that's, there's no solution to a feeling.
Oh,
good advice that I got from a fellow coach. And when we're having days, good days, bad days, it's you have to just let the feeling come and then release it. So I like to keep that in mind when I'm not feeling great, and sometimes also when I'm feeling great. There's no solution to a feeling.
I love that, because then, it just allows us to be in the moment and where we are with it. And then really the best thing then, once you've kind of sat in that feeling as long as necessary for you, I think really taking that next good action, that next positive action, doing the next right thing from here, no matter what, what the feeling is. So I think it is good to sit with it for a minute, though, and allow yourself the ability to be happy, sad, scared, worried, whatever it is, and then move on from that. I think that's great advice. Well, thank you so much again for spending time with us today. And like I said, I'm going to make a huge push to get this all around town so that we're celebrating.
Thank you.
All right, well, take care, and we will see you next time at the next Profound Professionals. Don't forget to like, share, and comment, and reach out to all of us. We will be happy to help you. Bye-bye.
Bye.